I've got poor video equipment. I'm still trying to figure all this out. So I really appreciate you guys putting up with it. Um, I'm just trying to give you the facts and give you my opinion on this as well, at least my professional opinion based on what I'm reading. I wasn't there investigating, so I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't have any details other than the details that I get from the news and the detail that I'm getting from these preliminary reports. And as I get more information from the NTSB or the FAA, then I will share it with you. Let's see here. Okay, it says here, let's see. Okay, it's talking about the flight was originating at Ahmedabad to Gatwick. It was operating by the crew, and it gives their credentials. It says the crew arrived at the airport and underwent a pre-flight breath analyzer test and were found to be fit to operate the flight. That's interesting because that is not something that's typically done here in the US. When we arrive at the airport, now we can be randomly tested at any time. You can arrive at the airport and it happens, and you may be asked to have conducted a breathalyzer test in a secured area with a physician administering that, so that there's no mistake or accident in the reporting of it. Or if you're suspected to have to be under the influence of anything. In this case, it sounds like they either did something like that, or they do it as a standard practice. So the crew had undergone a breathalyzer test and were found fit to operate the flight. There were 230 passengers on board, out of which 15 passengers were in business class and 215 passengers were in economy class, including 2 infants. 54,200 kilograms of fuel. Okay. Gives you more specific data like that. Gives you the airspeeds for the pilots out there. V1 was 153 knots, VR was 155, and V2 was 162. Those are pretty fast speeds. Let's see what else. Okay, it says that in the cockpit voice recording, well, let's go back. It says the aircraft achieved the maximum recorded speed of 180 knots at about 8:08 UTC, and immediately thereafter, the engine number one and engine number two fuel cutoff switches transition from run to cutoff. That's odd. Position one after the other with a time gap of 1 second. The engine N1 and N2 began to decrease, as would be normal because you're cutting the fuel. You're basically manually shutting down the engines. I don't know what could have caused that. I don't know what could have happened for them to possibly manually turn off an engine. I can't think of anything, and there are no checklists that I'm aware of that would instruct a pilot to shut the fuel to an engine at a couple 100 feet above the ground. I don't understand that. So let's see, the engine 1 and 2 began to decrease from their takeoff values as the fuel supply to the engines was cut off. In the cockpit voice recording, one of the pilots is heard asking the other pilot, why did he cut off the fuel? That is a very good question. I can imagine that is a critical moment at just a few hundred feet above the ground, and one pilot reaches over and cuts the fuel off to the engine. The other pilot's gonna say, why did you do that? Why'd you cut off the fuel? And let's see. So that was in the cockpit voice recorder. It says the footage obtained from the airport showed the ram air turbine getting deployed during the initial climb after liftoff. No significant bird activity is observed in the vicinity of the flight path, and the aircraft started to lose altitude before crossing the airport perimeter wall. So this was really low to the ground. As per the EAFR data, both engines' N2 values passed below minimum idle speed, and the RAT hydraulic pump began supplying hydraulic power at about 8 o'clock.